So welcome to the third day of the 6th KURJA POLT Genre Film Festival, the day of our homage. Our homage this year, as you know, goes to Maestro Sergio Martino, a giant of Italian genre filmmaking, one of the most fertile and most multi-genre, multifaceted filmmakers. We will now, as you know, we do not have Sergio Martino here with us. Unfortunately, he could not join us due to health reasons, which we regret deeply, and so does he. But fortunately, he is back home from the hospital. He's feeling very well and in high spirits. So we have decided to together to connect today via Skype. This will be a rather retro Skype, as you will see. Our connections are as are. We will be a little bit blurry, but hopefully all will go well. First of all, just a short announcement before. Sergio Martino's autobiography is available for sale, sent to us by the publishers in Milano. It is in Italian, but you are of course welcome to purchase it at a special festival price. If you will do so then after the screening in the cafe, and you will also get with it an autogram done on a special leaflet which Sergio has thought of and prepared for you. Now, for this talk, before the screening of the ultra-cultish Torso, or in the original I corpi presentano tracce di violenza carnale, I will invite to the stage two of our guests tonight. So first of all, of course, our dear guest who is stepping in for Sergio Martino, and who better to do it than his daughter, also a filmmaker, so please give her a warm welcome, Miss Federica Martino. Federica will help us with language and with connecting with Sergio. And to do this talk, I have invited one of my dear colleagues, Zagreb-based film critic, editor, one of the editors of the wonderful Zagreb-based Filmonaut film magazine, and for me, most importantly, one of the programmers of 25 FPS Experimental Film and Video Festival. So not a genre festival, an experimental film festival, but I believe that all non-conventional cinematographies, films, cinema have a common a family tie. It is again one of my very favorite festivals in the world, so please give him a warm welcome, Mario Kozina. Of course, Mario is a genre buff by heart and soul, and that is why he is also here. And now I give you two our best of luck and the microphone.
Yeah, and also for this lovely introduction. As Masha said, Sergio Martino, he's one of the people who helped do, or actually defined, then shaped the genre, Italian genre cinema of the 1970s and the 1980s. He started off with directing Mondo documentaries, continued with spaghetti westerns, then directed Polizieschi, no? Polizeschi, almost. Then cannibal and adventure films, and of course he's maybe best remembered for the 5 Jollies he directed in the early 70s. So he's also one of the directors who helped to establish the genre conventions, and then like at the same time as establishing them, he was also kind of reassembling them or deconstructing them, asking new questions with the form, with the dramaturgy, with the style. Some of those traits, if you went to see Your Vice is a Locked Room and Only I Have the Key, you might have seen some of the innovations he did in that film. He also opened up this genre to some new landscapes, like Torso, the film that we are about to see today. It's one of the films that is being regarded as a precursor to slasher films, along with Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Black Christmas. So I'm really happy and thankful to Masha that she organized, at least like via internet, to have Sergio Martino here with us. And without any further ado, we are calling the gods of technology upon us. Yeah, will you do the honor and pressing the?
I will.
Fingers crossed, everybody.
Here, right?
No, the left one.
No, I do know. But this is it. This is the one.
No,
No.
this one.
Oh, that one.
My fingers are trembling.
Yay! It works.
It works. Hello, Mr. Martino. It's great to have you here with us.
Thank you. I am very sad that don't be here, don't be there, because Federica explained. Maybe you know what is my problem with my arts, but now I feel strong. I feel strong. Okay.
Lo sanno. Ricordati che se non vuoi rispondere in inglese, ci
I
sono
speak in
io
Italian.
e farò del mio meglio.
Okay.
Ok.
As you like.
Va bene. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ti passo Mario, che tu hai conosciuto prima, che ti fa la prima domanda.
Bene.
So, Mr. Martino, we already made a brief introduction to some of your films. So, in this very brief conversation, we are going to go through some of the traits, some attributes that we remember your films by. So, for example, whenever we speak about your films, your Giallis, we always call them, or we usually call them jet set Giallis. That's because in usual Giallo films we always have, or we very often have working class protagonists and stories set against the modernist or architectural background. Am I making this too complicated?
No.
And what?
È tutto chiaro fino a qui o traduco? Aspetta. Allora,
Ho fatto il mio cinema.
abbiamo fatto già una piccola introduzione che riguarda il tuo lavoro nei gialli. La domanda che ti vuole fare Mario riguarda sostanzialmente il fatto che i tuoi gialli sono stati chiamati jet set gialli perché perché in altre circostanze i protagonisti dei gialli non erano così, diciamo, high class o jet set come si vede nei tuoi. Aspetta che adesso ridò la parola a Mario perché deve finire il pensiero.
Comunque l'avevo capito.
Bene.
And with your films, in your films, you always made films about beautiful, rich, and decadent people who like to do nasty things to each other. So I was wondering, why did you decide to make films about this certain social circle?
Allora, è tutto chiaro? Sì.
Più o meno, sì, dimmelo,
No, dove invece nei tuoi film quello che noi vediamo sono persone estremamente belle, ricche, che fanno cose orribili ad altre. The question being...
Why this specific social
Ecco,
circle?
esatto. C'è stata una volontà specifica di ambientare i gialli in questi circoli, in questo ambiente sociale?
Tendenzialmente credo che i film vennero ambientati in un ambiente, diciamo, socialmente un po' più evoluto, anche se poi in realtà diciamo in realtà si raccontava, diciamo, una borghesia medio-alta, ma la volontà era anche di dare al pubblico forse la possibilità di vedere ambienti più ricchi, più gradevoli, belle città, belle donne, bei vestiti qualche volta no. Insomma, in linea di massima si cercava di raccontare degli episodi che riguardavano forse una borghesia agiata, perché i delitti non li fanno solo i poveretti, ma li fanno anche diciamo la classe media. Quanti delitti sono avvenuti sia in Italia che nel mondo di una classe, diciamo, anche del jet set?
Allora, the tendency, there was a specific agenda it wasn't really an agenda, but there was a tendency of this, can you hear me? Of describing these nasty crimes in higher social circles, also to show different ways of living, different cities, like to give some, I guess, glamour, to show glamour, right? And he says also that nasty things happen in all social circles. So it's not only the poor and neglected that commit crimes, but also, people of higher classes, they do that. And in fact, there were many crimes in higher social circles that were pretty known back in those days. Yeah.
And is it also like this? I know that some of your films are based on very popular or very famous murder or crime cases that were splashed across the front covers of the magazines. So, is this something where you find the inspiration for your films?
Mario ti ha chiesto che sa che ci sono alcuni dei tuoi film che hanno preso un po' a ispirazione alcuni fatti di cronaca realmente successi che sono stati su diversi giornali. Your question being, è davvero così, no?
Yeah. I mean, some of the films and some of the stories are obviously inspired by previous films, or as we saw in the previous film, it was inspired by Edgar Allan Poe's The Black Cat. But I was also wondering, did these crimes, were they also based on some real life events?
Quindi è vero che alcuni di questi film sono stati, l'ispirazione viene da fatti reali, fatti di cronaca reali?
Sicuramente due fonti di ispirazione molto importante. Traduci, se vuoi. Sicuramente, traduci quello che ho detto. Sicuramente,
no, finisci il pensiero perché sennò che traduci.
In Italia alla fine degli anni 50 ci fu un caso specifico del delitto Fenaroli, in cui praticamente un industriale milanese mandò ad uccidere la moglie a Roma con un killer perché aveva fatto un'assicurazione sulla vita della moglie. Ed è stato un caso in Italia molto importante che gli anziani si ricorderanno sicuramente, che si chiamava il delitto Fenaroli.
Allora ti fermo un secondo, questa è la base di Torso?
La base di Torso no, è la base dello strano vizio della signora Ward, è la base forse anche di Il Coda dello Scorpione, come lo era stato anche su film precedenti fatti dalla nostra società come Il dolce corpo di Deborah. Traduci questa cosa.
Allora, for instance, as far as The Strange Vice of Mrs. Ward, the inspiration for the film came from a famous murder that happened in Italy in the 50s, known as the Delitto Fenaroli, so the Fenaroli's murder, in which there was a rich man had
insurance.
He had an insurance, a life insurance. And so that the ordeal was that the woman was killed, right? Because of the insurance.
His wife, she lives in Rome, and he lives in Milan. He sent a killer in Rome just to get the insurance that he did in
insurance price.
His wife. You understand?
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So that's the murder Fenaroli, and that is what inspired The Strange Vice of Mrs. Worth. And what other film?
Also, one other film that we did before is The Dolce Corpo di Deborah, shot for Romolo Guerrieri. At the same time, I did also another movie that La Coda dello Scorpione, the Scorpion Tale, that is more or less the same problem with the big insurance from one wife. In the case of the Scorpion Tile, was the man put the insurance to the Strange Mrs. Ward is the man putting the insurance to the wife. In the Coda dello Scorpione was vice versa. The man to his wife, the woman to his man. In the same time, there is another big film in that period where I think the Italian title is I Diabolici, by Clouseau, that is
Diabolique.
the big movie that, especially between specialmente nei rapporti che c'erano tra le due donne, è stato anche fonte di ispirazione di quel cinema. Credo che il Delitto Finaroli e il film di Clouseau, I Diabolici, sia stato una grande fonte di ispirazione per quel cinema, che non è solo il mio e di Guerrieri, ma anche di tanti altri registi italiani che hanno fatto film gialli in quegli anni, in cui appunto si raccontava una classe economica che appunto aveva delle assicurazioni sulla vita della moglie e del marito, capito?
Okay, so what he said is like that, yes, there were in fact murders, actual murders that inspired the stories, and also, as you told me before, Clouseau, Les Diaboliques was a great, something that really inspired not only his movie making, but also other, colleagues of his in the ideas, the story of their Jallis. And all of these stories had in common the fact that they were indeed talking about a higher class, okay, or bourgeoisie. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And also what's interesting about, when you mentioned Diabolique, the location plays a very important part in the setting, in the story itself. So there is a certain difference between the first two giallos that you did, Il Coda dello Scorpione and The Strange Vice of Mrs. Ward, because they take place all over Europe, I think even all over the world. And then again in your next two films, or three films actually, Torso, Tutti il colori del buio, and Your Vice is a Locked Room, they are all kind of organized around one location. So my question would be maybe the importance of locations or traveling in giallo films in general, and the importance of these locations in the films that we have seen today. Yeah.
Credo di aver capito la domanda. Sicuramente il cinema di quegli anni aveva anche il compito di mostrare al pubblico italiano e anche a un pubblico, diciamo, di coproduzione. Noi abbiamo fatto tutti quei film erano in coproduzione con la Francia, con la Spagna e con altri paesi. La Coda dello Scorpione è stato girato in Grecia perché ci fu un produttore greco interessato al film di poter farmi fare un film ambientato in Grecia. Quindi la volontà era produttiva e anche di voler dare al pubblico delle immagini diverse da quelle italiane. Traduci questa cosa fino adesso?
Apart from showing the Italian public different locations, you can't forget that a lot of these movies were co-productions. So each producer of a different country wanted to see their specific country represented in the film.
Yeah.
So.
E nello stesso tempo c'era la volontà di dare un'immagine importante di altri paesi, di ambientazioni diverse. Lo strano vizio della signora Ward è stato girato in Spagna perché avevamo anche la coproduzione di Sitges che era spagnola, che ovviamente nel rapporto coproduttivo era importante. Poi un'altra cosa importantissima.
Aspetta, ti fermo che dico questa cosa. As in The Strange Vice of Mrs. Worth, it was shot in Sitges because the co-producer was Spanish, and so that was the main reason why. Of course, it was also they shot in other places to show differently. It was interesting. It was glamorous. It added to the film to be in different locations.
E poi c'era anche un altro elemento importantissimo, che i distributori italiani pensavano che le storie ambientate non in Italia ma all'estero potessero essere più credibili, perché c'era in quegli anni anche una grande produzione di cinema comico che ironizzava sui poliziotti italiani, per cui si pensava che la credibilità della polizia italiana non garantisse la credibilità del film. Poi venne Dario Argento con l'uccello delle piume di cristallo che invece per la prima volta ambientò un film giallo in Italia, e da quel momento fu sdoganato il preconcetto che il cinema giallo in Italia non avesse la stessa credibilità di un film ambientato a Vienna, in Spagna o in Francia o in Inghilterra. Translate.
This is all new to me. I didn't know that the Italian police was not really considered a very effective, form of whatever, of security. So apparently the distributors back in the days believed, they believed if the story was set elsewhere so that the cops could be of a different nationalities. Because apparently, this is all new to me, they tended to believe them as more effective and more thorough than the Italian police. Okay? The person who challenged that, the director who challenged this idea was Dario Argento when he did L'uccello dalle piume di cristallo, which was the first poliziesco with effective Italian police.
The same things was when also my action movie like Milano Trema. I don't know in English what is the title in English.
It's Violent Professional. The Violent Professionals.
Before the movie with the Steno, che did la polizia ringrazia, is always they want to show no Italian policeman, because the producer, the distributor in Italian has something in his head that's no work well to the audience if we show policemen on the road with the Italian car. I don't know. There is something. Maybe it depends from the mostly production of comedy in Italy that is always actor like Sordi, Totò. I don't know if you know the name about Totò, or some other very big comic movie that is always with some people that doesn't speak very well Italian, is coming from Sicily or from Naples. That give to the policeman always with the mustache like that. You understand? that is the problem. The changement was to this movie. Dario Argento con L'uccello dalle piume di cristallo, and the same time on the action movie con Steno that he did La polizia ringrazia. Can you translate my English?
Yeah, it's understandable. Yeah. I will expand.
Your English translates itself.
Yeah, and everybody is laughing, but with understanding what you are saying. So rest assured, your words are being heard quite well. So I will open it up briefly to the audience. If somebody has a question for Mr. Martino, please raise your hand, and then we will repeat it over Skype.
Abbiamo aperto alle domande del pubblico, adesso vediamo se ce ne sono.
Ma all'inizio non si fanno mai domande.
Yeah.
Okay.
È una domanda per me.
Well, I wonder what kind of fairy tales were you listening to when you were little? You didn't have the right to the stories.
This is not a sad story, but I didn't get many fairy tales because my father was never home. So at least not for him. But I had plenty of books. So I became very young, quite a reader.
Did you understand the question, Mr. Martino?
No, I can't hear.
Mi hanno chiesto che storie mi raccontavi quando ero piccola.
Non lo so, te ne ho raccontate poche, credo.
Bravissimo, infatti siamo in linea, infatti ho detto pochissime perché non c'eri mai.
Che non c'ero mai, no.
Beh, insomma, poco è parente di mai.
No, non è vero. Comunque sì, forse non ti ho raccontato molte storie. Anche perché gli orari di cinema in Italia in quegli anni erano, anche quando giravo, also when I shot Italian movie, we start on the early in the morning and we finish later in the night. When I go at home, she's sleeping.
He worked very long hours.
Okay.
It
Anyway,
was pre-union cinema. They really worked long hours. So yeah, he's right in saying, you know, that his work life was really impossible. Yeah.
And in the end, you couldn't even watch the films that he
That's
did.
right.
Because
Exactly. Not
they
growing.
were-
No, it's because I was too young. Sure, I had to watch them when I could.
I think Federica and I have two daughters, Federica and Francesca. I think they saw my movie just when they are 20 years old, before, I think. This kind of movie, of course.
Yeah.
Maybe the comic movies, I think sometime when I did several comedian, she goes before to see the movie out into the cinema, I remember. You've been sometime on the cinema with your mother, my wife, and maybe some other parents. I remember. Maybe you don't remember. But
We went on the set a lot.
Okay, yeah.
We went on the set a lot. Yeah.
That is enough.
Questions? Yeah, go ahead.
I can't hear.
The question was, can you talk about the differences between filming in America and filming in Italy during 70s or, during early 70s or 70s in general?
He's filming, Ross? He's filming. Ok. Vogliono sapere se hai capito? Le differenze tra quando girava in Italia e quando girava in America.
I understood.
Okay.
In Italia, several times casual. Maybe one day we change idea to shooting different sequence. When I did that in United States, they say that I am crazy because we are always trying to work every day. But in United States, if you arrive, there is no good time to shooting something. We stop and we're waiting. In the same time, my generation, Italian generation, just try to do something without sound, and trying to shooting always. They are crazy. We change program. The American people like that. It's impossible to change program. The Italian fantasy, maybe the same sequence. They arrange something different to just to work because is a cheaper budget, and they try to don't stay waiting the sun that it disappear. I don't know. We are always trying to finish our program. That is the difference. The American is always like that, that is the program. If it's possible to shooting, we waiting the time when it's possible to shooting.
Is it clear? Okay.
United States is fantastic. There is a big organization, but sometimes they are, I don't know, maybe the people that I met in the United States when I shot several movies in the United States, but it's completely different the approach to this kind of movie. In that period, it's always like that. Their system.
They're planners.
In United States, the directors is always inside the caravan, and they talk with the microphone, and they say something to the assistant. The assistants talk with the actors, with the extras, and the movement. The Italian director is always in prima linea, first line.
In the trenches, Italian directors are always like on the set. They don't have any filters with the extras. They're there. They really get their hands in the dirt. Whereas his opinion is that the American directors are more, they have assistants, and then the assistant talks to the second assistant and the third assistant, It's like that. And they plan a lot, whereas Italians tend to do with what they have. So if, they can't shoot, they try to do something else. If it's cloudy, they do another scene, Where Americans is like, oh no, we've planned for the sun is not there, let's wait for the sun, okay?
The other thing is very important. The American director, if outside is 40 degrees Celsius, they stay in the lot with the air conditioning, and the other people is outside. The Italian director is always like the other people. It's true. It's close to the camera. I don't know. in my generation. Now, also in Italy, there is the director inside the caravan.
The RV, yeah.
By microphone. I think it is very important, the contact. The other problem that my generation, you understand my English? You can understand my English? My generation, my mostly of my movie in that period is always no in direct sound. In which way we can also, when the actor talking on the scene, I say something just to remember him. It's much better if you say that much stronger. In that way, after with the dubbing sequence, they change everything. So now we can say also in several of my movie we change a line on during the dubbing. You understand?
They resorted to dubbing way after the technology allowed to have sync sound. Okay, this permitted him and his colleagues to talk through a take with the actors, and guide them
during the shooting.
Because they knew that they were dubbing everything afterwards. See.
In the United States, they need silence. If there is some people, I don't know, talking very far from the camera, the sound man say, no, we can't shooting because there is something that is decided. That noise is not possible. We shot several movies like also people, come si chiama, i people movie. With in Italian, we shot several of these movies with the helicopter crossing the set out of the frame, of course. After that, with the dubbing, we resolve everything. In several of my movies, when I shot in the forest, there is always something. Come si chiamano il taglialegna?
A chainsaw. So he's saying that even in historical movies in Italy, when sync sound was...
The time is the double of the time that we shot in that period. Also in that now, also that is in Italy, because now several Italian movies is shot in presa diretta.
Everything is sync sound.
Presa diretta, the direct sound.
Direct sound or sync sound, sì.
When I shot several of my movies, Stranoviccio, Signor Award, All the Color of the Dark, is always talking, because especially if I ask something more when the actor say the line, I try to give him the intention more important for his face. After with the dubbing, we change several times all the line. You understand?
Yep.
Or no?
Exactly.
You don't understand? More or less? Okay. Vuoi ripetere? Ripeti.
I think everybody understood. Yeah.
Everybody is nodding their head, so we are fine. Yeah. More questions, comments? Maybe? Mm-hmm.
Ok, allora vogliono sapere com'è stato lavorare con i tuoi collaboratori più stretti e quelli soprattutto con cui hai lavorato più spesso, a partire da un fratello produttore, ma anche Edwige Fenech, che ha lavorato con te parecchie volte, Anita Strindberg. Com'è stato il lavoro, appunto, che è perdurato negli anni con persone, diciamo, che erano presenze costanti nella tua vita professionale?
It's like usually, so with something or that, I had a good friendship with the division. She called me sometime because she lives in Lisbona. She say
com'è stato, Voleva sapere com'è stato.
Però dico, il rapporto è stato professionale. Ci sono stati dei giorni in cui magari non andavamo molto d'accordo, degli altri che siamo andati molto d'accordo. Posso dire che comunque sia con i miei collaboratori di riprese ho avuto delle liti e poi ho avuto anche grandi amicizie. c'è stato sempre un clima goliardico nel cinema. You understand what I say?
As with every close collaborator and collaboration and relationship, there were ups and downs. There were days in which they fought, and other days in which they made peace, and everything was swell and fabulous. But in the end, they were all stories of friendship mostly that have pretty much stayed the same, because he is in touch with a lot of his old collaborators even now.
With my brother, I can't remember one time that he's on the set. My brother, I never came when I shooting some movie. He came in, see the film already done, and they say good or not good, change something. But on the set, I never saw my brother. I don't remember my brother on my set. In my life, I met several producers like Goffredo Lombardo, the Titanos. I don't know if you know him. The name of him is a very important Italian producer that maybe I want to see every day. I giornalieri, come si dice giornalieri?
The dailies.
The dailies, and no, I want something more, something less. I did several movies with him, like comedy, also action movie, and the same time anche come si chiamano i film drammatici, sentimentali.
Dramas or yeah.
Like that. There's different producer. Carlo Ponti came just to see when I did some movie with him. He came to see just the final cutting, no before. I had in my life the good experience that the directors is always when they show the movie to the producer, the distributor is always a little bit afraid, doesn't like, I have a good chance that, especially when I did comic movies, that I saw the producer, also the distributor, they are always che ridevano molto e si divertivano. For the director, it's a good experience, you know.
Okay. So his brother Luciano seldom ever went to see on the set. Others, Goffredo Lombardo, Ponti, I understood it was kind of like Luciano, never went, but watched the final, cut. Goffredo Lombardo was present. He went on the set and watched the dailies constantly. And also he said that he was never afraid when he showed his producers the final product. He was almost never afraid of the result. He was always blessed and lucky, because when it was a comedy, they would laugh, or in other cases they would compliment him with the final result. So he was never too worried about what they would say.
Voglio aggiungere anche una cosa che nella mia vita di regista avevo capito, che io mi mettevo in sala sempre nell'ultima fila, e vedevo come il film veniva seguito dagli addetti ai lavori, il produttore, il distributore.
Ma questo quando? Nelle proiezioni che facevi prima durante il montaggio?
Quando il film era finito.
Sì.
Se vedevo che le persone guardavano con grande attenzione il film, capivo che erano presi. Se vedevo che si muovevano un pochettino sulla sedia, eccetera, era un segno che forse in quei momenti c'era un po' di noia, e quindi nella final cut forse tagliavo delle cose, perché capivo che una cosa che piaceva a me poteva forse non giungere al pubblico.
Okay.
Quindi c'è il rapporto con chi vedeva il film è importante per poter fare la final cut.
Okay.
You understand?
Towards the end of the editing process, it was customary to have screenings with people of the business, okay? And during those times, he would sit in the back rows, and he would notice the heads tilting or not tilting or being very still, and he would take mental notes of the peaks and also the downs in the attention of the public, so that he could edit and re-edit so that the tension or whatever it was with the story could be more, constantly interesting. Yeah.
Poi era importante anche la natura del produttore. Alcuni produttori tipo Colaiacomo e Poccioni ridevano le proiezioni dei film comici. Mi è capitato anche di fare un film con Cecchi Gori, che era un film comico, e rimase impassibile, sempre serio, non rideva mai. Poi alla fine del film mi disse bravo, mi sono divertito molto. Quindi questo me lo ha detto anche Benigni, che diceva che quando aveva visto uno dei film suoi fatti molto importanti con Cecchi Gori, rimase sorpreso che lui era immobile sulla sedia e che poi praticamente alla fine disse che si era divertito. Quindi dipende anche dal carattere del produttore che c'hai davanti. You understand? You understand? No? No?
It was also no, magari in Italian.
No.
Was he talking English or Italian?
In Italian.
Ah, Italian. It was important to know, what kind of producer you were working with. For instance, he mentioned Poccioni e Colaiacomo. They were very open about what they felt. So they would laugh throughout a screening. They would just be very open about their feelings. Okay. Whereas with Cecchi Gori went to. No.
Dicevo una cosa, parlando di Poccioni e Colaiacomo, spesso e volentieri dopo il film dicevano che ero bravissimo e a mio fratello che stava lì lo devi pagare 3 volte come Dino Risi, diceva.
Okay, so Poccioni and Colaiacomo would tell him, "You're bravo, bravo," and they would go to his brother Luciano, say, "Oh, your brother is very good. You should pay him 3 times as much as you pay him." So they were very open and they were very nice to him openly. Whereas with Cecchi Gori, when he produced one of his films, a comedy, he sat throughout a screening without saying a word, without laughing, just stone-faced. So he was a little worried then, but then at the end of the screening, he went and complimented and say, "Very good. I thought it was very amusing." Benigni apparently said the same thing to my father when Benigni worked with Cecchi Gori. Same thing happened to him. So apparently he was that kind of producer. He would not show emotions.
I think they know who is Benigni, no? I think the audience knows
Penso di sì.
More questions? Yeah, we have another one.
Films which you consider best, most artistically successful, one from the Giallo's films and one outside of the fantasy horror Giallo genre. Which 2 films would you select that you would most like to be remembered by?
Un giallo, a giallo and the
One
other
Giallo and one outside of the genre.
Ok. Ti chiedono quale dei tuoi due film per i quali vorresti essere ricordato. Uno tra i gialli e uno in un genere a tua scelta.
Beh, credo che uno dei miei film migliori dei film gialli era sicuramente Torso, perché c'è ancora oggi vedendolo la seconda parte del film la trovo molto credibile. Credo che il generale tempo in tutte le attività ti dà, quando rivedi un film che io ho visto magari e che ho amato molto, se lo rivedi dopo 20 anni difficilmente provi le stesse emozioni. Dei miei film, se devo salvare alcuni miei film, trovo che era molto e ancora oggi credibile, perché l'ho visto nelle sale ancora oggi, che il secondo tempo, the second part of the Torso, the people ha lo stesso feeling when I saw the movie with the young people that in 1974, when the movie was shot in the cinema, and in that moment.
Okay, so Torso for the Giallos, especially because he thinks the film held very good, against time. So still pretty watchable. It's still solid today. E di altri generi?
Di altri generi ricordo nelle commedie, non so se hanno visto alcune mie commedie, c'è un film episodi in cui si chiamava Spogliamoci così senza pudor, e c'è l'episodio di Dorelli, the short part of the movie, because it was an episode movies, l'episodio with Dorelli e Ursula Andress. Also, when I saw this movie now, lo trovo divertente. For me, I feel that it's amusing movie. I don't know. Also, Milano Trema is a movie that I like. If I saw now Milano Trema, I remember the risk that we did shooting, because the sequence in this kind of movie is real in that period. The policeman working with himself on the street of Milan. I had many risks for this movie. Now it's impossible. If I remember what I did, I say that I am crazy doing something sequence with no big security around, you know. That is, you understand
So
what I say?
Torso, violent professional, in which they did crazy, ruthless things with minimal security on set, and also a film that was made by many episodes, a comedy that I don't know. Unfortunately, I don't know the title in English. Era Spogliamoci così senza pudor, no? Spogliamoci così senza pudore in Italian. I don't know if it was ever translated.
I think it's Sex with a Smile #2.
Okay.
I think the title is Sex with a Smile #2. I think, because I did the first one with con Marty Feldman. I did one movie with Marty Feldman that is Sex with a Smile, and the second after 1 year I did the Sex with a Smile #2 in English title, with the English title. Okay. But maybe they are too young to remember. I don't know if they remember this kind of movie.
We have sexy Belgian music instead.
I like also the island of the fisherman, the fisherman.
You had to say two.
When I've been in Sitges last year, Del Toro say that he saw my movie. And the movie, I don't think that is the inspiration of his movie, but the idea to do one human fish he got from my movie. The last movie, I think you know the Del Toro win also the Oscar with this movie.
Yeah, The Shape of Water.
It's a fantastic movie. My story is adventure movies, but the idea to do one love affair within one girl,
half man and half fish. Yeah.
Is 30 years before I did my movie. Quentin Tarantino love mostly on my movie. When I met several times Quentin Tarantino, they knows the sequence of my movie much better that I remember the same movie or the same sequence. And you understand what I say?
Okay.
Hai capito? Sì?
Yeah.
Va bene.
Va bene, okay.
Okay. Then we are just about to watch Torso, and everybody is very excited about it. Is there something else you want to say to us before we continue with the screening about Torso?
C'è qualcosa che vuoi dire? Stanno per vedere Torso, stanno per cominciare la proiezione di Torso, quindi Mario ti chiedeva se c'è qualche cosa d'altro che vuoi aggiungere.
No, vedendo Torso spero lo potrai valutare anche te, se ci sarà la stessa tensione nella parte più importante della storia, che adesso ovviamente non voglio raccontare, se no
certo,
faccio perdere.
E non devi, è chiaro.
magari me lo dirai domani.
Va bene. He wants to know from me if that sequence he was telling you about, gets your attention as much as it did in the past.
Thank you for the part that you be patient for my English, but I hope you enjoy, and maybe if I have a chance to meet you directly next time. The audience, I didn't see nobody that
you
talking with
the
me.
audience.
Can
we arrange it? Okay.
We can try it.
We can try it.
Okay. Thank you.
We did so well so far. Huh?
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Hi. Ciao. Thank you.
Masha said, grazie Sergio.
Masha.
The print of the uomini pesce, che cosa? Sì? Ok, Masha dice che lei sa dov'è la copia del film L'isola degli uomini pesce, lei sa dov'è, quindi il piano è che tu ti recuperi, non ti fai venire altre cose tra qui e il prossimo anno, in modo tale che puoi venire per questo, va bene?
Però gli consiglio di metterla in frigorifero, essendo pesci.
Put it in the fridge because it's fish.
Thank you very much, Mr. Martino.